Hello everyone, this will be my last video update on the winter storm. This will be my final forecast. So let's dive right into it. We are looking at the NAM here. We've been through the dynamics, plenty of detail over the last couple days, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Really quickly, here's your steering mechanism. This is the steering mechanism here, the upper low. That guides your other upper low down here, this energy which is moving to the south and east. This will come down to the south as well and guide this to the Carolina coast, where a storm will form, and the storm will come right up the coast. Well, actually, it's going to be much further west in the arrow I just drew. So that's the dynamic, so let's just watch that happen here. So now your trough is starting to go negatively tilted by Wednesday morning. So now the flow will take it right along the coast. And then the other thing to note about this is just notice how strong this piece of energy is, this upper low. So this upper low dominates the flow and keeps the storm here locked in. And because the storm is locked in, that's why it hugs the coast. And because of that, I have always been a proponent of a westward track with this storm. And it looks like I'm going to turn out to be right. Now, why is the European model still so far east with the storm? And the reason for that is this connection here, this vorticity connection. The European model severs it a lot earlier than the other models do. And because this connection gets severed earlier, your storm isn't connected to the steering mechanism anymore, so it can escape further to the east. So that's why the European model is further east with the storm track. Personally, number one, that's the only model showing that. Number two, based on meteorological knowledge, the fact that I see this strong steering mechanism here, it's dominating the flow, I don't think this connection is going to sever. I think it's a pretty strong connection, and I think it's going to hold on to the storm and keep it well within the flow here. Okay, so as we move along, it starts to strengthen. Connection does start to sever a little bit, but not until the storm itself has sufficiently strengthened and already come in way too far west for it to be pushed out to sea. So it's already absorbed into the flow before it can escape. Alright, so that's basically the dynamics. Let's look at a surface map. Okay, so now keep in mind that as this surface low moves, you have an upper low right to the north. You're going to get a band of snow with this across the Ohio Valley here towards the Great Lakes. You're going to get a band of snow with it. It's not going to be a lot of accumulation, but it'll be some. And that'll be before the low reforms off the coast of the Carolinas here. Okay, so let's watch this. See that band of snow? You see precipitation forming here out ahead of the upper low. And that's because your surface low is starting to reform here off the coast, because you have all that vorticity back here that's starting to go negatively tilted, starting to spawn a storm. And bam, there's your low, right off North Carolina. Alright, so this is late Tuesday night. So in association with the upper low and the storm together, you have all this precipitation spreading out ahead. So areas across the mid-Atlantic, eastern Pennsylvania, southern New England here, you're going to start off as light snow after midnight on Tuesday. Coastal areas down here are going to be all rain. Now this low will start to strengthen, so the precipitation is going to start to blossom. Okay, so now we are at Wednesday morning. We're down to 998. The low is starting to strengthen. And you can see here, number one, look at how close it is to the coast. So you have, I change this color if it's going to work. You could see on the northwestern side of this, you're starting to pick up your snow. But then right along the coast here, you have rain. And that's because warm air is being ushered in by the low pressure system. But as it strengthens, remember on the northwestern side, you're going to have upward motion, and so you're going to get dynamic cooling to offset the warming. So notice the low kind of sits there right over Delaware and southeastern coastal New Jersey, and it just strengthens. And just pay attention in this area here, right over eastern Pennsylvania, central and northern New Jersey, western New York State into eastern Pennsylvania. Pay attention in this area here and just watch the snow blossom as this number 998 decreases. See that snow blossoming to the north there over southern New York as well? Now, I think along coastal areas here, I think the NAM is still slightly too cold, so I think you're going to be mainly rain in those areas. But off to the north and west here, across eastern Pennsylvania, southern New York State, north and western New York City, northern New Jersey, away from the coast, this is where you're going to get your heaviest snow. Like in the whole area of the Northeast, your storm is intensifying here. And so this is where you're going to get your heaviest snow. 995, 994, 993, 991, 990. So you can see it's obviously strengthening quite a bit here. So you look to the northwestern side, and that's where you're going to get the heaviest snow. Right in here. Now, I checked boundary layer temperatures, and they're not as warm as previously forecast. So I'm starting to think that accumulating snow is not going to be a problem. I don't think it'll have trouble accumulating. So I've brought my 12 to 18 further south and west, and you'll see that in my snowfall map. Okay, this is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, 989, and now it stops strengthening. Now it's constant strength. And see where I think Long Island could get accumulation. Number one, you're going to start as snow on Long Island. But some of this snow is going to try to wrap around and come back to the south. And so I think there's a chance you might get additional accumulation on the backside that way. But how far south that reaches is the question. Alright, so now we're Wednesday night, and it starts to pick up speed and weaken a little bit. So your snows are still present across northern New England, but they start to fizzle out a little bit. However, you're still going to get significant accumulation in northern New England because you will be in a colder air mass than the mid-Atlantic. So even though your heaviest snow is going to be in here, you're still going to get significant accumulation up in northern New England and southern Canada because you're going to have high snowfall ratios. Okay, and the storm's gone through its life cycle. It starts to weaken, and it starts getting dominated by the upper low, which is now down here, and it comes back. And then you just have snow shower activity through Friday across the Northeast. So that's the cycle. So now the big question for the coastal areas is, can the dynamic cooling from upward motion offset heating coming in from the water? At first, I don't think it will, but as I said, as the storm finally strengthens, on the backside, I think that's where you get your chance of accumulating snow. That's not the one I want to show. Here we go. Okay, so I'm pretty confident in this map now. Besides the Euro being east, everything else has shifted west, and I agree with a storm track further west. So that's what this snowfall map is based on. Okay, so let's go through this. So your 12 to 18 inch area covers a good amount of central, well, not really central, but most of eastern Pennsylvania, I have you in the 12 to 18. Northwestern New Jersey, I have you in the 12 to 18 inches. Philadelphia is too far south and east for the 12 to 18. I have Philly in the 6 to 12. But places like, if I'm getting my geography correct, I'm really sorry, I'm not good with geography. But places like Allentown, Harrisburg, like areas like that in eastern Pennsylvania should watch out for over a foot of snow. Most of central New York and like northern Westchester, Orange County, Putnam County, and then north of there into central New York State, this is part of the area that's going to get the heaviest snow, so 12 to 18 inches for you. Albany, I have you right on the fringe of 12 to 18. I could see as much as 12, 13, 14 inches in Albany, so we'll go around a foot there. Hartford, we're going to go about a foot, maybe a little more. I have you just on the fringe of the 12 to 18. I would put Litchfield County in the 12 to 18. All right, and then as you start getting towards central and western Massachusetts, Worcester, 12 to 18. Most of central southern Vermont and most of New Hampshire, 12 to 18 inches. Burlington's a little too far north to get in on the significant snow, so I have 6 to 12 for you. And then going into central Maine here, we're going to go 12 to 18. But then the snow starts to fizzle out as you head towards northern New England, so that's why it's 6 to 12 there. And along the coast, there's going to be some mixing going on, so 6 to 12. So, what else do we have here?
I can learn.
Hold on a second.
I can learn.
Sorry, sometimes when I'm doing these videos on the Screencast-O-Matic, the menu disappears on the bottom left. I'm trying to like look at the pause button and see how much time I've gone, and sometimes it disappears, so I have to make it reappear. So anyway, we're at 13 minutes now, so let's try to wrap this up. So I covered the 12 to 18, 6 to 12, East Central Pennsylvania. State College is probably a little too far west to get in on the significant snows. Maybe 2 to 4 in State College, again, if I'm getting my geography correct. Southeastern Pennsylvania back towards York, Philadelphia, 6 to 12. Most of northeastern New Jersey, 6 to 12 inches. Just north and western New York City, we're going to go a solid 6 to 12. So that'll be like southern Westchester County, and the southern lower Hudson Valley will be 6 to 12. Most of central Connecticut, 6 to 12. I could see this coming a little further east, maybe. Parts of eastern Massachusetts will go 6 to 12 as well. Sorry, back in here. Now, your 3 to 6 is going to come back like this. I forget whether Trenton is on this side or this side. I believe Trenton is over here where my mouse is, so I'm going to go 3 to 6 for Trenton. Because down in this area here, in central and coastal New Jersey here, you're going to be changing over to rain. And you'll start out as snow, change over to rain, and then back to snow on the back end. And so you'll get you'll get accumulation both times there. All right. New York City is a tough call. We're going to go 3 to 6 inches in New York City. Then as you head east towards Long Island, this is mostly a rain event across Long Island. but there will be, you will start out as snow late tonight into early Wednesday morning. Then you're going to change over to rain, probably mid-morning, and possibly mix with snow throughout the day, but you could probably change over to all rain. And then as the storm lifts to the north and east, on the backside, you got to watch some of those snow bands coming back down from the north that could reach maybe central and western and central Long Island here. So overall, for Nassau and western Suffolk counties, we're going to go 1 to 3 inches. Southeastern Connecticut and most of central Rhode Island and coastal Massachusetts back towards Boston, we're going to go 1 to 3 as well. Providence, we're going to go 1 to 3. Once you get east of Stony Brook on Long Island, east of a line, east of Nichols Road, I would say, this is mainly rain. You're going to start out as a little snow, but this is mainly going to be rain. So little, if anything, maybe a coating to an inch or so out on eastern Long Island. On the front end of this. Once the low lifts, I think you're going to be in the dry slot, and I don't think you're going to get anything on the back end across eastern Long Island. Same goes for Cape Cod and southeastern Rhode Island. So out on Cape Cod, I'm forecasting rain. Okay, that is the forecast. Hopefully it pans out. If the European model is right, then I am blatantly wrong here, so we'll see what happens. But again, I don't think the European model is correct. I don't think that connection is going to sever. Alright, thank you for watching. See you in the next storm, if there is one. Latest model runs, we were watching a storm for 12th to 13th of March, and now it looks like that's going to go off to the south. So we'll have to see what happens, but, you know, winter isn't over yet, so we'll see. Thank you for watching.